Jenna.
Well, hi, Shelby.
Every single time it makes me smile.
I feel like that's just the classic opener now.
I think so too.
Yep.
And I think it's pretty dang awesome. I think it's so fun. Oh my gosh. Well, we are in a new location today.
We are. We're up in the mountains, enjoying the beautiful mountains.
Yes, before it gets way too cold.
Yeah.
I know. It's been literally perfect weather all day today.
Yeah, it's been beautiful out.
Mm-hmm.
I am surprised that the leaves aren't really changing yet, though. I bet they're going to be changing in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, honestly, by this time last year, I feel like all of the leaves and everything were changing. So I'm like, I don't know why they're not yet this. Maybe it's because it's been really wet this year.
Well, and I feel like it was really warm late. So I wonder if that made a difference, too.
That's true. Because, I mean, even today, the high was only supposed to be like 65, but it was definitely warmer than that today.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
this is like such a random comment, but I just realized your hair matches your sweater and my hair matches my sweater.
Wait, that's actually really funny.
I was just looking at your hair sitting on your sweater. I was like, it looks kind of like mine.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Nice. So, Shelby, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole. How do you say her last name?
Mayor? I'm not sure.
Yeah. But Assistant to the Villain, it's like huge on my TikTok and Instagram right now.
Yeah, she's been really big on social media in general, making like the whole series of clips of being the assistant to the villain. Mm-hmm. And so I think there was like a lot of hype before she even announced she was going to write a book based on it. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people had it pre-ordered, and then I think they sent out a lot of ARC boxes for it too, and really
did they?
generated a lot of hype for it.
Well, okay. I actually saw so many people getting their ARC boxes and everything, so it's
I was a little
now
jealous.
that you say that. But anyway, so we were talking about how she had sent out a bunch of ARC boxes for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you said you've been following her for years, right?
Yeah, I've been following her for a really long time. She's been doing that bit for a long time.
Oh, has she?
It is always, like, I always thought it was really funny, at least.
Oh, I love it.
Her, like, impressions and stuff and her facial expressions are just so fun.
Yeah.
Like, she's embodies
so cute.
Phoebe so much. It's just, she's really cute.
Yeah. So do you think she, like, made the character, like, around herself?
No, I don't necessarily think that she made it around herself, but I think that she likes acting as that persona.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's so cute. I've been following like the Instagram and stuff from our account, and I just think she's so adorable.
Yeah, she's sweet for sure.
I love it. Oh, that's so
Did you see
cute.
that it hit #1 best paperback sellers?
I did see that.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah,
what a huge accomplishment too. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Well, what are you drinking tonight? We don't really have like a designated drink of the episode, but what's in your cup?
I have Kirkland branded whiskey, the Kirkland brand Crown, and ginger ale.
Heck yeah. That actually sounds delicious. I might switch to that after this. I also have apple cider that we could do with whiskey in it. Mm-hmm. That would actually be really good.
Yeah.
I'm drinking a twisted tea because it's refreshing, and it has been really hot outside today. So
it's been very sunny. Yeah,
it's been very
I feel like we got a lot of sun.
I think so too. I can't tell if I look like I have sun, but you definitely
look.
You can have some
My
sun.
little pink in the cheeks.
So cute. I love it. It's like the look that everybody wants to go for, you know?
Right. Don't even need blush today.
Exactly. Where I did put some on. I love it. Oh my gosh. Well, Jenna, what did you rate this book?
I rated it 3.5, which I was a little disappointed with. I really thought I was gonna like this book more because I find her videos so funny, and I was unfortunately a little bit underwhelmed with the actual book. Like there were cute moments, and there were moments that made me laugh, and that's cool. But I think for me, the characters fell just like a little bit flat, and it did feel like a little bit repetitive in the type of humor.
Yeah.
She was like so overly ditzy in a lot of the spots that was like kind of roll your eyes, like, okay, pick me girl kind of moments, you know?
That's actually a really good way to put it.
Yeah. So that was tough. And I was also a little disappointed because it was marketed as adult, and I felt like it would be better marketed as a YA,
like a
romance
really
or a YA comedy or something. I don't know.
When you so I didn't realize that when you told me it was marketed as an adult book, I was literally
Sorry.
so shocked.
I was trying to scoot back so I was in line with you. My bad.
I know. I actually ended up sitting back. So
Yeah,
I was
that's why I scooted back. Anyways,
Appreciate
sorry.
it.
Yes, go ahead.
I agree. I feel like this should have been like this was really, really YA to me. Like
Yeah.
like almost teen. And when you told me that it was marketed as adult, I was like, why?
Yeah.
There's like she uses the word fuck a few times, but like there were like no sex scenes. Like it wasn't spicy at all. I'm like, what classifies it?
And not that it has to be like explicit sexual content to be considered adult, although I think that that's probably something we see in things that are marketed as fantasy romance.
Right.
That if it's marketed as adult, there's usually explicit content. It doesn't have to have that, but there is a level of maturity of the characters too that I feel like is really different. And so I think they're supposed to be a little bit older, but I think we've talked in the past about how we age up a lot of YA,
Yes.
and I felt like I aged them down.
I did too.
Like she felt like she was like 19,
Yes.
or something like that, like 19 and sheltered.
100%.
Not, I think she was supposed to be what, like 24 or 25 or something.
Like that.
Yeah.
Where it did not seem that way in the slightest. I was
Yeah.
really confused.
So
I'm
that was
like,
tough.
so tell us why. Why was this marketed as an adult book?
Yeah. So anyway, so that's my favorite.
Yeah.
So that's why I gave it, and I think it still got a 3.5 from me because I think she's funny, and I was picturing her
Yeah.
as I was reading, which again I think made it funnier to me. But if I didn't know her or her content, I don't think I would have found it as funny.
Right.
So that was me. What did you give it?
I gave it a 3 flat.
Yeah.
And it was because I really liked the ending, but it was really hard for me to read. Like, I think the middle portion was just so tough for me to read that it was like really hard to get through.
Cringy.
It was really, really cringy, and it's so unfortunate because this book was so hyped up, and I really wanted to love this book, but I had a really hard time getting through, and so the ending is why I even gave it a 3.
Yeah.
And I feel so bad. So I haven't been following her for years. I've only been following her probably recently, after we started the podcast is when I even knew who she was. So in that sense, I was like, well, I don't know her as well, and so I didn't have that relevancy and connection to her.
Definitely.
So yeah, that was a little tough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh.
Is there anything else spoiler free you have to say about it?
Not really. I'm ready to get into some spoilers.
Yeah. Okay, so if you haven't read, blocking off now. Spoilers coming.
Spoilers. Oh my gosh.
Where to even start?
I know, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm like,
What were some parts that you liked? Or some parts that you thought, or things that you thought were funny? Or
I really did like the interaction between Evie and the villain, aka Tristan, or Tristan, aka the villain. I really did like their interactions. Like you kind of said earlier, though, it did seem a little repetitive and overdone. But it was funny, and you had said in the beginning that it was classified as what did you say? It was like The Office meets...
I think it's supposed to be The Office meets Once Upon a Time or something like that is what they marketed it as. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you told me that before we even started the book, and I was like, I get the Office vibes.
Yeah.
I see that 100%. So I liked that. I liked some of the funny banter. I feel like even though it was overdone, it was still fun. What did you like about this book?
As much as, some of the types of banter could be overdone, kind of like The Office, it was really fun that I felt like all of our characters that we're interacting with had very distinctive, very extreme personalities.
They did.
And it does make it funny. Blade, the dragon tamer, has such a distinctive personality. Or we have Becky, the office rival, and Evie is her own personality, the villain. We have all these characters that do have I don't know, a very distinctive voice. And so I found that really funny. Or endearing, and I really liked the chapters that were from the villain's point of view.
I did too,
because I love that derpy I don't like or I hate everyone but her. That trope I think is really cute, and so that was a big one in this book, is the I hate everyone but you.
Yeah, I really liked that too. So what are some critiques that you have from this book? Or I
Yeah.
guess what else did you really like about this book? I guess we can finish that.
It was a completely unnecessary addition, but I thought the frog was cute.
I thought he would show up more, honestly.
I did too, and it was one of those things that like literally added nothing to the story,
No.
but it still was like a little bit funny.
I know. I thought that part was really cute too. I loved when he like held up the signs and he was like, "Help!"
And I really liked that, even though Evie is kind of portrayed as supposed to be this sweet and innocent character, all along the way, like she is pretty cunning, and she does have some. Like, I'm not going to call them evil, right? But she does have some maybe darker plans or suggestions, or like her brain automatically works that way, which I really enjoyed seeing in this setting, because you were like, oh, wow, that's why you're so successful in this specific job, is, you know, because of that, because you do have these unique ideas that fit. And so I thought that was cute. And because of that, I really liked the ending with her being like, well, fine, I'm going to, you know, the tear down the world to save him kind of vibes. I thought that was cute too. It kind of reminded me of Shatter Me and early ones when Juliet's got some of those vibes.
Absolutely. Now that you see that, I totally see that connection. I think that's so funny. Oh my gosh.
What about you? What were some of were there any other parts or characters that you really liked?
I really liked the villain. I felt I liked Evie, but I also she kind of drove me a little bit nuts, and so unfortunately she wasn't my favorite character. I really liked the villain. I thought Blade was really funny, and like you said, he just had like a very distinct personality. The sister, Lissa.
Yes, she was so cute.
Gosh, that was so cute.
I did love that.
Yeah, I really liked her a lot. That was really fun.
Yeah. But so maybe moving to some of the things we were less impressed by. I felt like the backstory with the mother hurting her brother, I feel like that should have felt more impactful, but for whatever reason, the way it read for me still fell really flat.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if it was how that moment was written or what, but it just, I don't know. I don't feel like it hit me in a way that I cared that much.
Yeah.
Which I was surprised by, because I usually can really feel with characters. Like, I get really involved in it. I don't know.
No, I'm literally right there with you, because I was like, okay, cool, she killed the brother, like, okay, whatever. Okay, we're moving on. It didn't, to me, actually have, like, any impact. Where, like, I thought that since we were talking about the mother having all this magic and whatnot, I thought Evie was also going to have magic.
I still think she might.
You still, really? Okay.
Well, because this is going to be a series. I don't know, I get a feeling like, at first I thought when they were, like, getting attacked or something, and her and the villain are, like, trying to fight the other people to get to each other's stuff, I felt like magic was going to come out then. I was really surprised it didn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I really thought that was going to be the moment, but I do kind of wonder if there will be some magic that shows up for her at some point.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think that would be cool for sure.
I didn't realize, I know this is a fantasy novel, but I didn't realize that the villain was going to be magical, and I really liked that.
Yeah.
I thought that was really fun.
There's like a few people with like some magic, but it was a little bit subtler.
Right. Yeah.
How did you feel about the world building as a whole?
I feel like there wasn't actually a whole lot of it, and so I kind of just pictured it as like, kind of like I do with everything. I kind of pictured it like ACOTAR, where they don't have cell phones. It's kind of like medieval times is kind of how it seemed to me. Yeah, I didn't get that much out of the world building, so I thought that could have been a little bit better. Like, there wasn't really any talk in the beginning about like magic, and so I was like a little confused when like all of a sudden it got thrown in.
Yeah, I also felt like the world building, I think, was maybe a little bit why it fell flat for me, is because we learned some things kind of about this one kingdom and like kind of about the town, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't feel like I had a good picture really of what was going on either, besides maybe like the castle that the villain, or manor or whatever that the villain lives in. I guess maybe I had could paint a little bit there, but like in some ways you could say it's a pro, because it makes you use your imagination more to actually come up with what you think something looks like. But on the flip side, it's hard to not have much to work from.
Agreed. Yeah.
And so I did feel like it was a little bit like that. It was a book that I felt like would have made a great movie, but a better movie than a book.
Yeah, which is so unfortunate. And I was kind of saying earlier that, like, it read like a cartoon to me. Like, I pictured it like a cartoon. I didn't really picture it as, like, real life. And to me, I feel like that kind of, like turned me off a little bit to it because I knew it wasn't supposed to be like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was hard. It's just hard because I think that comedy I would have found funnier in a different form, and I did feel a little bit cringy.
Yeah, it definitely did. I think the number one part where I was just kind of like, oh my gosh, roll my eyes, was when she started crying and quit her job.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Like, doesn't even try to explain that that's someone else's letter.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, well, I'm going to let someone else talk first. And then it's like, oh, I quit. I'm like, okay, that was a little dramatic.
I know, I didn't like it.
On the flip side, Bug.
That's the one thing about being up camping and doing it, there's been so many bugs all day.
But so coming out of the scene with her quitting, though, then came into a part that I really liked that then did feel a little bit more dull, is the, like, apologize and make up.
Oh, yeah.
That I felt like it was really mature in the way that both of them handled that situation, because she came back and was like, hey, you know, I get that I had an overreaction, like, I apologize for how I handled that, and he makes the point to also apologize even though he doesn't normally.
Right.
And I felt like that was actually, like, a very nice scene between them.
Honestly, I loved the way that he apologized, and he even realized it, like, in the moment. And I know, like, when you're arguing in the moment, it's really hard to, like, say what you want to say and get all of your feelings out and everything. But I loved that he, like, reflected and came back and was like, I'm so sorry, like, I really want you to have your job here. Like, yeah, I loved that. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the book.
Yeah, I thought that was really good. I also am such a sucker for the kiss to blend in, or, you know, like, surprise kiss trope, and that was, yeah, that's like our one, I don't know, intimate scene, right, that we have, and it was so cute. And when he's immediately calls her love right after,
that
too,
was really
and he's
cute.
like, what do you need, love, or whatever he says,
And
I was just like,
huh?
I was like, oh, she's like, oh, you heard the ruse, like, you know what's up?
And he's
Oh, okay,
like,
I'm
wait,
glad.
what? Like, he didn't have this monologue in his head.
I know, like, he just thought it was a dream or whatever, so he didn't think it was real, and that I thought was so endearing.
Yeah, it really was.
Because he realized that that's how he, like, wants to act towards her, and oh my gosh, I melted. That part was so
so
sweet.
stinking cute. I loved that. Well, and I loved it because we were also getting an insight into, like, how he was feeling. But what did you think of him being like, I'm in love with her?
Yeah, I don't know. I liked that.
You liked it?
Did you not?
I thought it was too. I was like, yeah, you guys spend time together every single day. I understand that. But to me, I was like, how do you know you love her? You haven't even kissed her yet. Like, you haven't even, like, done anything. Like,
I think you can have love for someone without having sex or, like, I don't know, having sexual interactions.
Yeah, I just felt like their interactions were intimate, though. Like, I felt like everything was very surface level until, like, after that point. And then he started, like, opening up to her about, like, oh, yeah, like, this is why I'm the villain. This is what... It was after
was
all
it
that.
surface level, though?
I thought so.
I don't know. I didn't necessarily feel like it was all surface level, because even before that, even before he was like, oh, my gosh, I think I love her, he had, like, the small interaction with her family, and he kind of had, like, a little bit of an understanding of her background and where she's coming from and, like, what she's looking for in life. And there are some, I don't want to say small secrets, but, like, small things that Evie knows about him that he doesn't share with other people. Like, even the fact that he wants sugar in his coffee, or whatever, the cold brew, basically, coffee. Like, there were things that he shared with her in just, like, mannerisms and life that he wasn't sharing with other people. So I did feel like there was more of a connection there, right? And his level of caring was beyond what it was for anybody else, obviously, was, like, for her safety. And so, I don't know, because there are lots of people in a I'll say other cultures, but maybe ultra Christian cultures.
Like a purity culture.
Right. But there are, I think you and I maybe see physical intimacy as an important part to early parts of a relationship too, and knowing if you fit together. But for other people, I don't think that's necessarily true. Like some people build relationships without any of that. And so I don't necessarily think it's bad to say, oh, I love her without having done that, because I think there was enough substance. Like, it wasn't like they'd only known each other. There are some fantasy books that I read where they've known each other for like 2 weeks, and they're like, oh my God. Yeah. And I mean, they'd been spending every day together, like lots of time learning everything about each other. So
okay, fine, I see it. I
convinced you.
I know, we always do this.
Yeah. What did you think of the siblings? So what did you think of his sister in particular? The villain's sister, I should say.
Yeah, that's kind of who I thought you were talking about. I loved her, her interaction with Tatiana.
Yeah, exes, but aren't we really?
I know, but like, there's clearly still love there. You guys still wish you were together. And so I really, really loved those interactions a whole lot. Yeah. And so at first I didn't love Clara, but then like she definitely grew on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then who else?
Doesn't he have a brother? I don't really remember if his brother does anything besides the one time that they meet at the bar.
Oh yeah. And he was yes, because he makes like the bomb watches.
Right. But I think that's like the only time that we really interact with the brother,
I think so too. I thought it was actually really, really funny though when they did go to the bar and he was like, "Hello, brother." It made me think of the Vampire Diaries.
Like,
hello, oh my brother.
Gosh, Damon walking up to Stefan Salvador. Hello, brother.
That is like 100% what I was picturing, and so I got a good giggle out of that.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute. That scene did remind me of another, I don't know, trope, I guess, that I really like. And I don't know that this quite happened in this one, but when the girl gets a little bit drunk and like more drunk than she normally does, and then she like makes a move that she wouldn't have otherwise, and like kind of throws herself at him, and I felt like that was a little bit the vibe that you got here. She's like, please pretend to be dating me.
I know. Yeah, I thought that was really funny. I loved the whole scene at the bar. I thought that was hilarious. Well, and then the fact that she was like, oh, I frequent this place, like I know these people too, hey, and then she's like, wait, that's your brother? And then she like turns around the whole situation, she gets all nervous. I thought that was really cute.
That was pretty cute.
Oh my gosh. Did you think, because so I finished this book today while we were sitting outside, and I know you're watching my reactions and everything.
I was watching your reactions. Like at first when you saw that like Tati had was like hurting her, and you were like, oh my God, it was her all along,
and you're like, wait.
Keep reading.
Wait and tell me when you get like a few more pages. And I literally thought it was Tatiana.
I did too. That got me. I thought that was really good. Really well done. Like, little surprise twist in there.
I feel like the ending, like, really saved the book for me. Mine is the very, very end, because, as you were kind of saying, I did get Juliet vibes. We're like, I'm going to conquer the world. Yeah. And so I was like, I don't know if I, like, love that. Even though she's not as annoying as Juliet, she's still, like, to me, I was like, okay, but, like, show me your credentials. What credentials do you have to run the world and be a villain?
Yeah, I mean, I maybe didn't mind it quite as much, but I maybe didn't read into it as far as Juliet, because Juliet literally, this is Juliet from Shatter Me.
Yes, sorry.
Literally says, that she wants to rule the world. Yeah. But I feel like Evie only really says she's gonna act like the villain to get him back. Yes. And that's really the extent of her interest. Like, it didn't really seem like she's like, oh, I'm going to conquer the world and take, whatever, kill the king and whatever. Right. Like, I didn't get the vibes that it was about everything else. She was like only interested in doing whatever she had to do to get him back.
Right. And so I can actually see that.
I thought that was fun of her, like, embracing her darker side, because
you see it all along. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I actually really did like that. So, like, I know this was supposed to be like a grumpy villain and then the sunshine assistant, but
he's a cinnamon roll.
He is a total cinnamon roll. Looks like he could kill you is actually a cinnamon roll.
Yes. Yes, the villain is totally like that.
He totally is. And I felt like I felt like she was less sunshiny than I was really expecting her to be.
I agree.
Which I liked.
I did too.
Yeah.
I did like that. I felt even though I felt like her character was a little flat from like a backstory perspective, I did like the diversity in her thoughts and actions, and that she clearly, like, overall feels like she wants to be kind and she wants to be a good sister and she wants to be a good daughter and she cares about her neighbors and all these things, cares about people's livelihood, but at the same time she's ruthless when she needs to be or can think ruthlessly, and I really liked that, like, dichotomy.
Yes, I really did too. I loved that.
Wow, it's nice sunset right now.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful sunset. So we have, like, a really, really big campsite right now, and it's, like, it technically could be, like, 2 campsites, but...
no, it couldn't.
I know. Well, okay, sorry, you can fit a lot of people in the campsite.
Yeah, I mean, it's one large, but it's one large campsite.
Yes. And so these people, like, came through and, like, drove through our campsite today when we were sitting here.
Yeah.
And Gianni was gone, and so we were like, what the hell? You guys just, like, drove through our campsite. That was not cool. They are really close,
That is really close. That's annoying.
Yeah, I don't love it, but whatever.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyways, sorry, that was really big distraction.
No, it's totally
I also just got distracted by the beautiful sunset.
I know, the sunset does look really, really, really beautiful. It's so funny watching our dogs, like, literally run around and just, like, play. They're going to be so tired after this weekend.
Yeah. So, coming off of that ending, how do you think the next book is going to go, since it's clear this is a series now?
Yeah, I didn't realize this was going to be a series, and I think I literally asked you, like, the last 5 pages, I was like, wait, this is a series? I was like,
well,
wait, what?
I mean, the way it ended, I'm assuming it is. But...
Yeah, I feel like it has to be. Yeah. I think for how YA it is, it has to have a happy ending, and so I'm like, she's gonna get the villain. I think she's gonna have some sort of, like, magic. I think they're gonna fall more in love. Yeah, I think Clara and Tatiana are gonna fall in love again. If they ever fell out of love.
They're gonna admit it again.
There we go. They're gonna get back together. What do you think? What are your predictions for the next book?
I mean, I agree with those things. I'm curious to see how Arthur plays in.
Oh, yeah.
So the villain's dad. Because I thought that plot point was interesting. Because I really thought that he was going to be bad at that party, too. I was surprised that he wasn't bad. I don't know. So I think maybe he's going to end up helping the villain a little bit, even though he doesn't agree with why the villain is doing what he's doing. I also think that... What were those creatures called that they...
Oh, the, Goovers.
Goovers. The Goobers? I'm just going to call them the Goobers. I don't remember what it was. It was something with... I don't have my book in front of me. It was something with a G.
G-U-V-R-E. And so in...
Gouvre?
That's how I was saying it in my head, but, like...
I'm going to call it a goober.
Who knows? Let's see if she has, like, a...
goofy goober, yeah. You're a goofy goober, yeah.
We're all goofy goobers, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Anyways, okay, whatever it is, I'm gonna call it a goober, but it's the big scary creatures.
Yes.
I feel like the fact that Evie and the villain and Blade and everybody were trying to treat them as humanely as possible, and that because they were even, remember the male was even being, like, kind of nice to them through the fence. I feel like there's that's gonna come back around, the fact that they were respecting the animals, and I think at some point maybe, like, then the animals will kind of maybe help them a little bit more against the king.
I like that.
Because they, you know, not that they bonded, like, but maybe a level of respect for like being treated as humanely as possible. So I could see that happening.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I like that. And then what do we think about the dragons?
Yeah, I'm so curious to see Fluffy.
Yes, that was so funny. Well, I thought it was even funnier because she was like, I thought your name was Fluffy.
Right.
To Tristan. I thought that was so funny.
That was cute.
Oh my gosh. And then he turns around and he names the dragon Fluffy. That was hilarious to me.
It was cute. Yeah, I'm not sure what I think the dragon is going to do yet.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, because... I guess it's being less nervous now that it's not chained up.
Right.
But I also kind of want... but the king knew that the dragon was coming to the villain. So that's why I'm like, I don't know what I think is going to happen. Like, I feel like that was seeded badly somehow.
Right. Did you see the betrayal of her father coming?
No, I was... like, not until they started talking about the ink. As soon as they started talking about the blue ink, I was like, because they had said a bunch of times how... she was like constantly writing everything in her little notebook or whatever.
Yeah.
So once they started talking about the blue ink, I did have a little bit of this like, But that was the only time that I started getting, and that was like maybe 10 pages before they revealed it was him anyways.
Yes.
So I did not see that one coming at all.
I didn't see that one coming literally at all.
Which was so sad though, because
oh my gosh.
and I think that's the thing. I had a little bit of a hard time with that twist though, because he goes from 100% loving father, struggling, whatever, to gonna be like that fucking harsh to his own children.
Ruthless. Like, I literally don't give a shit about you.
Yeah.
I could kill you if I needed to.
Yeah, because he didn't even seem like he would be sad. Like,
no.
And that's the thing. I feel like it wouldn't have felt so out of the blue if his reaction had been like, please, like, he's not the right one. If there was like some, like, please come to the right side, whatever. Like, I really care about you. I love you. No, it was just as soon as she found out, then he was like, oh, well, screw you. I'm going to kill you then.
Like, you made your choice. Now you're going to die for it.
And that just didn't feel... I don't know if I don't want to say didn't feel realistic, but I think I would have liked to see more from that. But I mean, I guess he is just supposed to be, like uncaring, but just crappy.
Yeah, that was so shitty.
It did remind me of like Farrah having to take care of her family and stuff.
Yeah, it reminded me of that too.
Yeah, really gave me those vibes.
So Jenna, who do you think that this book would be really great for? Who would you recommend this book to?
I feel like this book is perfect for people who love YA writing and characters and really enjoy comedy sitcoms like Community or Parks and Rec or The Office or I don't know, like anything like that. How I Met Your Mother, whatever, those types of shows. Like, if you think that type of comedy is funny, I think that you would enjoy the comedy in this book too.
Absolutely.
But you have to also enjoy, again, like a little bit more of like maybe YA personality behind it.
Yeah, kind of that like dumb funny.
Yes. Yeah, a little bit of the dumb funny.
Yeah, I think that's a really good recommendation. I feel like even though this was advertised as like an adult fantasy romance, I don't think that it should be classified like that at all.
I agree with that too. And it's funny because even though it is fantasy, I think it was more comedy than it was fantasy.
Oh, I totally
like in a good
that.
way. I mean, I think that was okay to do it that way. It was a very different take. It's a very Assistant to the Villain is a low stakes fantasy.
Yes.
That is easy to follow along. Like, you don't have to think super hard about it. And sometimes it's fun to have a book that's an easy read like that.
Yeah, I agree. Even though I didn't love every second of reading the book, it was still enjoyable as a whole. So that's fine. Yeah. Gosh. Well, do we have any other thoughts on this?
I think that's all I got.
I know. We were looking at the beautiful sunset earlier. And so sad that camping season is ending.
I know. Hopefully we'll get one more trip with the pretty fall colors.
Yeah, I hope so too. I know. It's, again, so weird that the leaves aren't changing. But, oh well. Here we are. Oh, we should go start a fire.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds awesome, actually.
Cool. Well, we'll leave you guys and go start our fire.
Yeah.
Keep it spicy, book lovers.
Keep it spicy. If you guys love our podcast and you guys are loving us, please go onto Apple Podcasts and go give us a review and give us a rating. We would love to hear your thoughts. Yeah. Thanks so much for watching, guys.
Thanks. See you next time.
See you next time.